If you run a UK consultancy, 2026 will expose three critical things very quickly and very clearly. If you're still operating in AI pilot mode or treating AI as a peripheral experiment, you need to watch out. Number one, your win rate will be exposed because clients will increasingly start comparing and evaluating turnaround speeds across different firms. Number two, your margin will be exposed because inefficiency doesn't just hurt once, it compounds rapidly over time, eroding profitability with each project cycle. And number three, your team workloads will be increased because manual effort simply doesn't scale efficiently. And all of that not because AI is some kind of magic solution, but because your competitors will systematically respond faster to client requests. This video is specifically about what actually changed in a meaningful way during 2025 and what those changes concretely mean for consultancies that are heading into 2026 and what practical actions to take depending on what specific area of responsibility you own inside your firm. If you're new here and haven't come across this channel before, I'm V, founder and managing director of agentic Lab. We specialize in building AI agents and automation systems that are designed to survive contact with the real delivery teams. There's no hype, no exaggeration, and no unrealistic promises here. 2025 wasn't a year of incrementally better AI models or marginal improvements in performance. It represented a fundamental shift in both technological capability and market expectations around what AI could reliably deliver. First, AI models evolved to become genuinely usable and dependable for real consulting work in professional environments. The AI models developed the ability to hold significantly more context across longer conversations, reason more reliably through complex scenarios, and interact with various tools and systems in a way that didn't fall apart or produce nonsensical outputs halfway through a multi-step task. Some examples of that, think of DeepSeek reasoning model or Gemini 1 million token context. Now that matters considerably because consulting inputs are rarely clean, standardized, or well-structured. Those RFP packs always arrive messy and inconsistent, project folders are organized differently across different teams, meeting transcribes are rough and full of tangents. But suddenly, in 2025, AI could take those inherently messy reality and systematically turn them into a structured, coherent output you would actually be comfortable reviewing with colleagues. Now, the second change is AI capability moved directly into everyday tools and platforms that consultants already live and rely upon. These AI tools are not a separate destination you had to constantly navigate to, but embedded naturally inside emails, documents, meetings, and the knowledge search interfaces. Think about Microsoft 365, Notion, and a myriad of other tools in the market. Now, that integration fundamentally changed the user behavior and expectations. AI stopped being perceived as a specialist tool you deliberately go to when you need it, and instead it became something people naturally expect to be present and available when the work was actually happening. Now, the third part that changed this year are the large consulting firms systematically industrialized AI capabilities internally across their operations. Just have a look at McKinsey, Accenture, and the others. Not only they let some people go, but they rolled out AI assistants at an industrial scale, ensuring that thousands of their consultants have ability to call on AI at their fingertips. And this development is the part that smaller and mid-sized consultancies often underestimate or overlook entirely. The factor number 4 is the trust, governance, and regulatory compliance. These things stop being an abstract future problems to address eventually. If your firm handles sensitive client data or operates in regulated sectors, AI couldn't continue to be treated like an informal side experiment anymore. Governance and compliance frameworks quietly became an integral, not negotiable part of overall delivery capability. Now here's the fundamental shift that matters most going forward. AI technology itself is no longer a meaningful differentiator by itself in the market. Successfully operationalizing it within the controlled and audible workflows, that's the competitive edge. Can you imagine your business operating now without the internet? Next year or year after, most of the consultancy firms will have implemented AI within their business at the production scale. In 2026, 5 distinct changes will begin to separate firms that thrive from those that struggle with AI. The first change: the scattered pilots and disconnected experiments will lose credibility in the market. The firms that are winning are those that stop tinkering with the multiple small initiatives and instead picked a small number of high-impact workflows within their business, which they can transform with the AI end-to-end. The consultancy firms that will do more focused execution with AI that actually shows up in client deliverables and internal operations is going to be welcomed. Number 2, agentic workflows will become normal business practice rather than experimental technology. It's not about the science fiction concepts, but practical, reliable systems that can draft proposal packs, assemble client reporting, update internal systems, and chase outstanding actions, all with a clearly defined human review points in the process. Number 3, AI literacy within the teams will become an expected part of the job description across all levels. It's not about the coding ability or technical expertise, but it's about effective supervision of AI and the quality control of outputs. Knowing with experience and training how to properly validate AI-generated outputs, that's the key. Number 4 is the governance will stop being treated as a defensive measure and will start being recognized as a commercial advantage. Clients will increasingly ask harder, more detailed questions about auditability, transparency, and the quality control processes. And it's about how you answer those questions will directly affect their confidence in the deal and their perception of your firm's maturity when it comes to the AI use. Last but not least is the cost pressure and economic scrutiny. This won't disappear. They will only intensify. AI usage will grow across the organization. Individual decisions will compound over time. And suddenly unit economics and cost per output will start to matter in a way they did not before. So the real question facing consultancies isn't if you should or shouldn't use AI. It's where to apply it strategically so it would actually change measurable outcomes. Okay, we talked about what happened in 2025. We talked about what's going to happen in 2026. Now let's talk about what you, based on your role within your business, can do about it this year. If you own commercial outcomes within your business, if you are the person who signs off on spending decisions and carries the partner level accountability for business performance, you should see AI as an innovation initiative and not as a technology experiment. It should be understood that AI is a strategic tool for margin protection and preservation of valuable partner time, your most expensive and valuable resource. You need to begin by identifying and selecting 2 or 3 operational drains that consume disproportionate amount of effort relative to the value they generate. These are typically proposal development, processes and internal firefighting activities, and other activities that don't directly contribute to the client outcomes. You need to allocate resources to fund one tightly controlled pilot program that can demonstrate and prove measurable time saving. It needs to be a tangible margin impact within a relatively short time frame. And from very beginning, make governance frameworks and compliance requirements absolute non-negotiable of the implementation. Your primary key performance indicators should not be measuring the volume or frequency of AI usage across the organization. Instead, it should be focusing on quantifying partner hours successfully reclaimed for higher value activities. You need to measure reduction in write-offs and the fee adjustments that erode your profitability. That should be the key driver for your ROI. Now, if you run operations, your fundamental responsibility is to deliver predictability and consistency across the organization without introducing unnecessary friction into day-to-day workflows. You need to work to standardize the entire sales to delivery handover process into one clear, comprehensive pack that everyone across the organization can understand. This should include things like scope definition, underlying assumptions, price logic, rationale, project milestones, and of course explicit success criteria for the project. You need to focus your efforts on systematically reducing the duplicate data entry across multiple systems and platforms. So how do you measure your success? You continuously measure adoption rates and user behavior to identify friction points, as well as the time spent on those activities. You need to always prioritize establishing robust processes first and foremost, and only then you should introduce automation as the layer on top of those proven processes. Unless you're measuring what it costs you to do those processes now, measuring ROI or justifying expenditure is going to be difficult, so start doing it now. Now, if you own growth and proposals within your business, in 2026, the market will increasingly reward organizations that can demonstrate speed to quality, the ability to produce the high-quality outputs rapidly without compromising standards. Your priority should be to build and refine a controlled bid assembly line that covers the entire process, from initial RFP ingestion analysis through to producing a thoroughly reviewed peer-reviewed, client-ready draft document. AI systems generate the initial draft and document, but it's human experts that will need to review, refine, and approve every output before it goes to clients. And this needs to happen consistently with every single time, without any exception. AI can get you there 80% of the way very, very quickly if implemented right. Now, if you only deliver quality within your organization, your biggest opportunity for measurable improvement isn't necessarily producing better written documents or more polished client communications. It's systematically reducing administrative overhead and providing earlier warning signals when projects begin to drift off course. You will need to focus on automating routine reporting processes that consume significant time but add limited strategic value. Think about implementing systems that can surface the scope creep indicators early in the project lifecycle, before they become significant problems. You will need to develop mechanisms to flag margin drift and profitability concerns before clients become aware of issues or before problems become difficult to resolve. This means doing those timesheets once a month by hand will not do. You will need to automate your time tracking, you will need to automate the data gathering and reconciliation. 2026 won't be won by the firms with the most AI tools. It will be won by the firms that turn AI into controlled workflows that protect trust and improve unit economics. If you want a clear view where your firm stands, take our AI assessment. It shows your maturity, where time and margin leak, and which workflows to prioritize first. Go to insights.agenticlab.com and run the assessment. It's only 20 questions. You will get an automated report talking about your business in general terms. If you want the practical AI workflows for consultancies, do subscribe to the channel, as I will be covering them more and more this year. And of course, to understand the tooling foundation behind all of this, watch the previous video. I'll break down why we moved from a ChatGPT to Claude project for real consulting work and how to avoid the context chaos across client work. I'll see you there.